I would request Dr. Chitralekha ma'am to take up the question answers for our discussion with the speakers.
Okay. We have two questions. The first is from Dr. Sushil Patel to Dr. Rakesh Sahai. The question is, do you prefer hydroxychloroquine in managing musculoskeletal disorders in diabetic patients looking towards its glycemic benefit? Dr. Rakesh Sahai.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Well, that is something which has been not very well studied in the problems that I've just enlisted. Basically, hydroxychloroquine has been studied for rheumatoid arthritis and various other connective tissue disorders. It has a significant role to play there, and its role in diabetes also has been studied. But how much it affects the musculoskeletal manifestations in diabetes is something which has not been very well studied, but it's a interesting area, interesting indication for using that. Maybe we can say that, but we don't have good data to clearly show that this is going to show a clear benefit.
Okay, thank you, sir. The second question is from Dr. Sanjay Patil to Dr. Sujoy Ghosh. Is it practically possible to halt the progression of diabetic kidney disease, or is it just a slowdown of progression of diabetic kidney disease? Can we halt, or it is just a slowdown?
Okay, so I think that's again a very, very loaded question and a very good question indeed. So if you talk about kidney disease in diabetes, essentially there are two components to it. One is an acquired component and one is an inherited component. The reason why I'm making this statement is, if someone with type 1 diabetes does not develop kidney disease, say 30 years from the time of diagnosis, he will never develop kidney disease with diabetes. So there must be a genetic component of kidney disease which is not in our hands. So that is what we have inherited from our parents. That's one component. Now, the second component that we are talking about is the treatable, preventable, slowable component, which is dependent a lot on good glucose control, good blood pressure control, and perhaps the choice of medication, whether we are talking about ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or whether we are talking about the new SGLT2 inhibitors, or for that matter, good glucose control itself. Now, I wish we could have stopped everything altogether. But in clinical medicine, when we talk about a drug and we say that the drug is beneficial, we talk about a relative risk reduction. So, for example, with a statin, you reduce the risk of a heart attack by a certain proportion or a percentage. You do not stop the entire risk altogether. So whatever remains is your residual risk. So you halt the progression is perhaps not the right term. You slow the progression and add years to life, and you also improve quality of life. And for example, we know that whatever microvascular complications you're talking about will take time to happen in most people. So if somebody develops diabetes at the age of 60, and you are able to slow things so that the process of ESRD takes 20, 30 years, maybe during his lifetime, he's not going to develop the disease. But it's not an absolute full stop.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Once again, thanks to all the eminent speakers of this session. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Divyank Patel.
Ma'am,
yeah.
We have one more question. You could see that in question answer box, please.
Okay. Okay. The question is from Dr. Arun Saxena. Some patients improve with pregabalin plus nortriptyline, but sense of tingling remains in long-term treatment, and vitamin B12 level in diabetes is well controlled. Any recent advances? Dr. Tiven Marwa, sir.
Well, I think diabetic neuropathy pain is a very, very challenging disorder. I would say that only 30 to 40% of patients, they recover out of this problem or symptom. And best thing is to prevent diabetic neuropathy to take place. And once it settles in, it's very, very difficult to manage symptomatically. And we need to try all different measures. And sometimes one measure is more effective than the second. And at times we need to provide the combination. Two measures can fail and we might need to provide the third one. So the answering to the question that tingling remains because we cannot, reverse neuropathy. And some of the features, in spite of current medication, they remain. So diabetic neuropathy, unfortunately, is only partly treatable, or it is reversible only in the early stage. Once it has got established for a very longer time, it is very, very difficult to reverse the condition and also elevate all the symptoms like tingling.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank all the speakers.